Hello, Capricorns, and welcome to your June 2026 monthly horoscope. My name is Justina. Welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. All right, so today we are going to look at the horoscope for June 2026, and I'll tell you some of the important events happening in June will influence your rising sign on a deeper level. So here, these horoscopes are most accurate for your rising sign. However, you can also watch them for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. All right, so a very big welcome. Oh, now here we start with beautiful transit, and this is Jupiter and Venus conjunction happening on the 9th of June. And this conjunction will be at 25 degrees of Cancer, so a pretty late degree. And the reason for that is because Jupiter is almost ending its journey in Cancer that started last year around May, June. So now this is coming to an end, and we've got some beautiful energies to end this transit. And this is happening here at 25 degrees of Cancer on the 9th of June. This is your 7th house. So your area of relationships you have with other people, your contracts as well, partnerships. So one-to-one connections, and it doesn't only have to be marriage or love, it could be connected to your contracts. All right, so here, some beautiful here. This is first of all, this conjunction is happening, of course, in your 7th house, but also what is Jupiter? What kind of energy does it represent? It represents the energy of expansion, growth, abundance. Of course, there is another side of Jupiter, which can also make us feel not grounded enough, overextend, and perhaps overindulge. But in this case scenario here, with Venus as well, which is the planet of love, relationships, creativity, beauty, finances, this is a really beautiful conjunction that could bring some new contracts, a new client, a new connection, a new collaboration, partnership, some good news, maybe a positive development in your connection, relationship, in your life. So there's an easy flow of energy, maybe a new chapter, maybe a new phase. Whatever the scenario here, this energy brings very positive energy into your one-to-one connections, relationships, more tranquility or some kind of stability or a positive turn of events overall. So keep an eye on what's happening here on the 9th. Now, as we move forward on the 15th, there is a new moon happening in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the sign of duality, your 6th house. So new moons are connected to new beginnings, fresh energy, something new, something different maybe, and happening in your 6th house of everyday routine, everyday life, daily responsibilities, your health, your well-being. This is being here activated. So there's an opportunity for improvement of this area of your life, for perhaps becoming more organized with your schedule, with your work and life balance. Maybe this is about a new coworker or some little shifts happening at your work. It doesn't have to be something huge because, of course, it basically could be something little, like some little shifts being introduced at your work, because Gemini energy is connected to gadgets as well. So you might be also getting a gadget and some electronic device, for example, to help you to simplify your life, to simplify your daily routine. This could be about starting a new exercise regime or a health, some kind of health routine or a dietary routine, for instance. So this will, of course, depend on your circumstances, but under the influence of a new moon in the 6th house, this is an opportunity for implementing these positive changes into your daily life, health-related changes as well. And for generally here, because Gemini is the sign of duality as well, so sometimes we are in two minds when it comes to what we want, the direction we want to take. So it's essential to focus on one thing at a time during this time. Otherwise, the energies can feel slightly scattered. Now, on the 19th, we've got Chiron moving into Taurus. That's your 5th house. Chiron moving into Taurus, into your area of joy and happiness, creativity, children, and also conception, romance as well. So this is a short lasting influence until the 18th of September. And take it or treat it as a preview or as a little taste of what the upcoming transit of Chiron in Taurus could bring from next year onwards. At the moment, Chiron is in Aries as of around 2018. So that's your 4th house. And Chiron is now preparing itself to move into Taurus. Taurus, of course, represents very different energy. Aries is fast and feisty and dynamic, impulsive. It's a cardinal sign, so also action-oriented, same as yourself. Here, your ascendant. And Taurus is a fixed sign. It's a fixed sign. It's an earth sign as well. So the energy is much slower, but much more stable as well. And here with Chiron coming here on the 19th until the 18th of September, here with Chiron traveling through your area of the 5th house, this is a time of a major healing phase when it comes to joy, when it comes to happiness. And during happiness, of course, your inner child, creativity. So during this time, there could be some situations from the past, unhealed wounds coming up to the surface through different kind of experiences, activities, situations of any kind. But bringing up those feelings when you felt like you were not allowed or restricted to enjoy life, to have hobbies, to enjoy your interests, for example. This is also a healing phase of the romantic side of your life, your romantic stories. This is your chance for reconnecting with your inner child. This is when you can heal wounds, blockages, connected to self-expression, creativity. If you feel like your creative urges, talents were never appreciated, were never recognized, this transit can help you to heal those wounds. It can also help you to rediscover what happiness means to you. It could help you reconnect with what brings you joy, what pleasure means to you as well. So the simple pleasures of life, because that's the Taurus energy, which is connected to comfort, which is connected to our senses, like good food and reading and enjoying beautiful smells. So it's about reconnecting with life. It's about reconnecting with what brings you happiness, with what brings you joy, allowing yourself to enjoy life without waiting for permission. So definitely pay attention to what comes up, to what shows up during this transit, because this could give you a better understanding of what you might expect to see and happen when this transit fully and properly begins next year. Now, on the 28th, we've got Mars. Mars enters Gemini, so that's your 6th house, where we had the new moon in Gemini back on the 15th of June. There was a new moon in Gemini that took place at 24 degrees of Gemini, and now on the 28th, Mars enters Gemini, your 5th house. Your 6th house. So that's your area of everyday life, everyday routine, your lifestyle. And here with Mars, whatever that you started, initiated, whatever ideas you had during the new moon in Gemini on the 15th, you will be able to implement them more fully when Mars enters this area of your life. So a great time for physical activity. Mars in the 6th house tends to speed up our metabolism. So if you want to get fit, this is your chance. A good time for exercising, for physical activity, for reaching your deadlines, for decluttering, for reorganizing your routine, your lifestyle. Something to pay attention to, because the ruler of Gemini is Mercury, and Mercury will turn or station retrograde the next day. So that's on the 29th in the sign of Cancer. And that will be at 26 degrees of Cancer. So that's your 7th house. So for this reason, the first 3 weeks following the 28th or 29th of June, it's not a good time for starting anything brand new, any new projects, contracts, anything that comes up within those 3 weeks. If you can, try to delay, especially signing any contracts until after the second part of July. It's a good time for dealing with what has already been established in the initial part of June. And it also in connection to your work, to your contracts, to your routine. Because if you start implementing something during the retrograde phase of Mercury, then once Mercury retrograde is over, you might realize that actually this isn't it, this isn't in alignment, this isn't working, and perhaps this would have been just a waste of your time. So generally here, these first 2.5 weeks of July is a great time for working with what we have already established. So move forward with your goals, objectives that you had for yourself, lifestyle changes that you have already initiated prior to the 29th, so maybe mid-June, perhaps some health-related changes, for example. But Mercury retrograde will be in your 7th house. So that's the house of your relationships, of contracts you have with other people, your connections with others. And Mercury will be retrograde here for 3 weeks. It starts at 26 degrees of Cancer. So here, what this means is that this is also a time when you will be reviewing your connections with others, re-evaluating your contracts, your commitments. There could be people who return into your reality. This is very often the case when Mercury is retrograde in the more social houses like the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 11th house. So there could be some reconnection with someone that you haven't seen or spoken to. Maybe a client, maybe your therapist, your landlord, for instance, or anyone else that perhaps with whom you had that strong bond, and maybe you went into 2 different directions, but here Mercury retrograde could actually help you to reconnect. But at the same time with Mercury retrograde, you might be also renewing contracts, renewing or reviewing, and also in your personal relationship, in your marriage, there could be some unresolved matters that will come up for a review. Try not to ignore them, try to address them as they happen, because every time we delay, we brush things under the carpet, they resurface, and it's even more unpleasant. So Mercury retrograde is giving you this amazing opportunity to deal with whatever appears, whatever comes up as it happens. All right, so that's here Mercury retrograde. And then also on the same day as Mercury turns retrograde, there's a full moon happening in your 1st house, in your Capricorn 1st house. So a very important full moon for you in your 1st house. And this full moon is happening at 8 degrees of Capricorn. So the first decan of Capricorn, so very strong Capricornian energy, which is connected to structure, discipline. And here the full moons are usually connected to culminations, turning points, and endings. So this is connected to your life direction, to your own personal direction, to your life journey, if you will. And this is connected to generally a personal situation reaching a turning point, a peak, if you will. And it brings more awareness when it comes to things that perhaps seemed unclear to you, especially connected to your identity, to yourself. It's all about you, your direction. It could be connected to some important decisions you'll be making, connected to your career, for example, path as well. So this will, of course, depend on your circumstances. But here it's a very important full moon that illuminates the area of the self, your 1st house. So it's illuminating something to you that perhaps you weren't fully aware of. You didn't have full clarity about, for instance, as well. This could be a turning point for you, a turn of direction, a turn of situation. Think about what has been going on in your personal life, connected to your goals, to your objectives. This could also be that perhaps a shift in your perspective on a specific topic or a specific matter you're dealing with. For example, maybe this is about a job or a contract you've been awaiting some news from, and perhaps there could be some development around this area, for example. So whatever the scenario, it's all about you. It's a very personal full moon. And then we end the month with Jupiter, the great benefic, entering Leo, and that's here your 8th house. So a big deal because, of course, this is connected to growth, expansion, personal development as well. Now, Jupiter stays in a sign for about 12 months. So it's a 12-month influence. You had Jupiter in Cancer for 12 months since last year, from May, June. And now Jupiter is coming to your 8th house. And the 8th house is the house of transformation, the house of deep and profound energies, and the house of rebirth, investments, shared and joint resources. And Jupiter is the planet of growth. So wherever Jupiter travels in our birth chart by a transit, it offers opportunity for growth, development as well. So this transit could present some interesting opportunities for you that come through other people, that come through third parties, through some schemes. This isn't necessarily something that will purely happen through your own efforts. Very often, the 8th house Jupiter transits are connected to growth that comes through others, growth that comes through third parties, growth that comes through other people, financial opportunities, work-related opportunities. Now, this 8th house is also the 2nd house from our partner's house, the 7th. So this could also indicate that your partner will go through some financial growth, financial gains that could positively impact your own life or the relationship overall. This is also a time of that could positively impact your investments, some returns, financial returns. Now, something to watch out for as well is that while Jupiter is in Leo in the next 12 months, the South Node will enter Leo in July. And then in August, there is a solar eclipse. And then every 6 months, we will have a reoccurring cycle of eclipses for 2 years happening across your Leo and Aquarius houses. And as next year, we also start the Capricorn and Cancer eclipses, with Capricorn being the first one. This is pretty huge as well. So as you can see, there are some financial shifts and changes happening for you. They are on the horizon for you. And this will, of course, here you will see how this will play out for you, how it will play out for you in your life. But here with Jupiter offering this opportunity for growth that comes through others, financial growth, abundance, for example, some financial opportunities. Here you will also have the eclipses activating this area of your life. And there will be a lot of letting go. So it seems like you'll be also undergoing a transformation, a deep, deep transformation of the self, especially here since next year you also start a new cycle of eclipses, which we will explore at some point in the near future as well. So thank you so much, Capricorns. Have a wonderful month ahead, and until the next time, bye for now.